I'm just looking at replacing traction tyres, which is something I don't really do on a regular basis, but on this particular model, Class 103 electric loco from Roco, and this is the one with a camera and lots of other bits on board. It's a heavy loco, really heavy, and I run it at high speed using the filming. Use it as a camera for tracking trains around the layout, etc., because it's got a camera on board. So I've used it at high speed, and it has 4 sets of traction tyres, 2 at each end of the bogie drive system. So to replace it, you've got to tip it upside down like that. In the manual, when you open up at the back of the manual for it, it says 400/70, 400/75. I think both of these numbers are compatible traction tyres for this model. Well, I went for 400/70, and you buy them in a packet of 10. Pretty easy to get hold of. There we go. And when you get them out of the packet, they don't look quite right. You get a traction tyre, it looks like it's not going to fit because it's too narrow, but what happens is it wraps around the wheel and the flat surface becomes the outer top surface when it's fitted, which is really strange. Well, that's how they fit, because at first they don't look like the correct part at all, but when you install them they fit in position and the flat side becomes engaged on the flat side of the wheel in the grooves of the wheel, which will show there. You can see the grooves of the wheel here, and at the other end where I've installed 2 already, you can see they fit and they bend over the wheel and fit quite nicely. So to do it, you have to be very careful with this model because there's a lot of fine detail on top. Yeah, to do this procedure, what we've got to do is unscrew the 2 Phillips screws at each end of the bogie. So just undo 1, do 2. There we go, and that enables this piece to come off the cap for the gearbox. Just got to be a bit careful. That enables that whole area to come off, which makes it a lot easier to get to the gearbox. And that's like a metal piece with plastic surrounds for the suspension. Really well done. So there you can see the gearing and the wheels. So then all we need to do is pop out one of these wheels carefully. That's it. You twist it slightly and it pops out. It's just a case of wrapping those new traction tyres around, which I'm going to do. So there's a wheel. You just carefully stretch around. There we go, it just pops on. That's the easiest way to do it. That's nice, that nicely bedded. There's a slight groove cut out on the wheel. Without the traction tyres, it'll still work, but you might have a slight problem going around certain point work, especially curved points or anything like that. There's a chance it might derail or clank rather noisily. So the traction tyres, obviously 4 of them, give greater pulling power and stability. See, that one's gone on wrong. I've twisted that's gone on twisted, so I'll just pull it off again. There we go, let's try have another go. You can use tweezers. There we go, that's on. Perfect. There's 2 of them done. On this particular model, you can see there's 2 sets of contacts on each side of the wheel. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 sets of contacts, so you've got to make sure when you're putting the wheel back that you bend those contacts back slightly on each side. When you put it back, you've also got to make sure the wheel goes back the correct way as well. Always best to take a picture before you dismantle anything. But there we go. So just got to slightly push back those contacts on each side, making sure you don't force it. There we go, let's have a look. Quite a tricky procedure actually. So that's nearly lined up. Let's move the magnifying glass out of the way now. Just line it up on both sides. There we go. Nearly done. That's it, that's in. You just got to make sure both of them are in. Push it if there's any resistance. You're going to bend them. I've got one out of alignment on this side, so it's got to lift it slightly on that side. There we go, it's pushed in now, nicely. If you push to any resistance, then you're going to bend the contacts. That's in nicely now. Yep. That's good to go. So all we do now is the other set of wheels, which is this particular one. That comes out a lot easier. And again, we've got 2 sets of contacts right there on either side. Let's get a traction tyre out again and carefully pull it around, working our way around the wheel. There we go, that's in. That's another one done, and one more. 4 sets of traction tyres on each side, so it's 2, 4, 6, 7. We've got 8 traction tyres in total on this model, which is a lot. There we go, that's it, all done and dusted. And again, all we need to do is line up the particular contacts on each side. Push that, 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go, back in. That's it, beautifully done. You can oil the gears as well if required, or grease them up, but there's no point because there's plenty of grease on there. All I need to do now is add the casing back, making sure you fit it the correct way. Actually, I've got that the wrong way around. I want to go the other way. And as I say, it's always worth videoing, stripping down stuff for your own reference if you're not sure how to put it back together again. It's always worth doing that. Because as I say, we've got 2 different size screws on this model. There's a long one and a short one. Just make sure everything's lined up perfect before we put everything back, and that looks good. Just using a magnifying glass. Right, so there we go. That's a short one goes. The short screw goes to the front, and always anti-clockwise the screw before you tighten it up, because if it's a threaded screw, which these are going into metal, you don't want to thread them. So put it in anti-clockwise, wait for a click, like that, screw it up tight, not too tight. That's it. That's all there is to it. New traction tyres fitted quite nicely on that model now. I can go back into service, because that was something I needed doing. All done. That'll be fine now. So, in a packet, you get 10. I've used 8. So, hang on, I've used 8. So I've got 2 left over. And that's it. It's always worth getting spares in, even if you don't need them. They're good for the future, which I have got quite a few models. And that's it, it's all done. Thanks for watching.